Good afternoon, beautiful people. This has been heavy on my heart to let y'all in my business. So I genuinely don't know who needs to be in my business, but I'm going to be obedient and let you in my business, okay? Mother's Day is quickly approaching, and I believe that has a lot to do with why this has been so heavy on my heart, okay? So bear with me. In August of 2024, I started making a mad dash for overtime. I was working 5 12-hour shifts for that solid month. And then, probably like 2 weeks in July, um, I had a debt I needed to pay. And I wanted to have money for a vacation that was coming up at the end of the month. My monthly never came. We just chalked it up to the fact that I had been working like a white mouth mule and my body was out of control. My sleep was off, hormones off, I was just off. So I go on my vacation. I remember vividly every article of clothing that I put on vacation. I told my sister, I look so pregnant, even with my shaper. And I got a good shaper. I was like, I just look pregnant. Like I look like a beached walrus. I said that in everything that I put on. And we just laughed about it. The last day of our vacation, we've packed up. We're heading out that morning. We're coming back home. I woke up, half of my face is swollen. And I have hives like all over my body. Eyelids, my face, my arms, elbows, thighs. I just have hives, okay? I'm just like a walking set of hives. We can't figure out what it was. Nobody else had broken out in hives. Also on this trip, my sister kept getting sick. It was very, very weird. We come home. On the ride home, my chest starts to get tighter. I've taken Benadryl and it's not doing anything. My face is actually swelling more. My mom drops me off at the emergency room. And because my chest is tight, they do a cardiac protocol, hook me up to an EKG. They take me back fairly quickly and get me hooked up to the monitors because we have to make sure there's nothing wrong with my heart. They're not even concerned that I look like Two-Face from Batman because I'm literally like this. Like I'm swollen. One of my coworkers, I showed her, and she said, look, like I had really good fillers in. Like these suckers were plump and juicy, okay? But it was starting to extend across my mouth. At this point, we're at the emergency room. Blood work is done. The doctor comes in, and I'm thinking he's going to tell me, like, I'm allergic to beach, like sand or ocean water or something crazy like that, because as I get older, I realize I'm allergic to more things. Like, my body just changes. Nope. That man walks in with a straight face and says, I don't know why your face looks like that, but you're pregnant. If you know me, you know that I was married for almost 4 years. And for all of those 3.5 years, I tried to get pregnant unsuccessfully. And for those of you who know me from church, and you're like, but you go to church. I go to church, but I'm not Jesus. Okay? Judge your mammy. I don't know what to tell you. This gentleman had impregnated me. Neither of us knew. I found out coming home from vacation that I actually got pregnant in July. Yeah, I was like 6 7 weeks pregnant. They were like, your baby will be due in April. Okay. I'm freaking out in the emergency room. I'm 40 years old. I call my mom. I can't tell my mom. I call my sister to tell my sister. I'm crying. I'm 40 and live alone. I don't live with my mama. I was terrified to tell my mama. My mama had me when she was 19. Mind you, she had out all, by the time my mama was my age, she had had all of her children. I was terrified to tell my mama. But I told my mama. I cried like a little girl telling my mama. She was speechless. Neither of us had any more words. So I hung up the phone. The doctor finished my workup, and I came home. I called the baby's father and notified him of what had happened. And that was a Monday. That Tuesday, my sister came to bring me my luggage from the trip. I get a phone call. My primary care physician has been made aware that I am 40. I am high risk. Why am I high risk? I'm obese. I'm fat. Okay? I'm black. And I'm 40. Okay? I'm high risk. Like extreme high risk. Okay? I have had a miscarriage before when I was about 24. 23-ish, 23, 24. So early mid-20s, I had my first miscarriage. That child would have been 15 this year. 15, 16 this year. Anyway, they said you need to leave your house now and go to the urgent care OB in Concord. Luckily, my sister was here, so I didn't have to do it alone. I went there and I saw my baby on an ultrasound. My last miscarriage, I never made it to my ultrasound. I found out I was pregnant, and then 2 to 3 days later, I miscarried. We go and we see little Bean, and I'm with my sister, my best friend. So, would I have rather for my mom to be there? Absolutely. But my sister it was good enough. We come home, we go do, more doctor's appointments, and maybe I notify my job because I know I'm high risk. I work in healthcare. They understood that I was high risk. So I really know that I prayed for where I wanted to work. So the people that I worked with were very helpful and accommodating with not making me do the heavy stuff by myself. So I worked my whole first week. I'm being very careful, being very mindful of what is happening in my body. We do more blood work and my levels have dropped. We do another ultrasound, and I have convinced myself that I'm looking at my ultrasound at a weird angle, and that's why baby Bean looks smaller. When in actuality, my body has started to terminate my pregnancy. So that was on a Friday. My doctor was like, I'm so sorry, but you are not going to keep this one. You are not going to make it out of your full first trimester. So I had notified my pastors and their daughters because we're cousins and we're close. I had not yet told my aunts, but because they had given me this diagnosis, I knew that I might need them. So I notified both of my aunts. One works from home and the other one is retired. So I knew if something happened and my mama couldn't get to me fast enough or my sister couldn't get to me fast enough, I had those two as backup. My two friends from work were notified of what was happening in the event that I did have to come to work and it started to happen at work. They were the ones who knew, and they were made aware of what was to be done in the event that this happened, so they would know who to call. I went to work. That was on a Friday. I think I went to work that Monday. And I was off for a couple of days after that. And I remember vividly praying, God, if it's gonna happen, can it happen while I'm off from work? I don't want to be at work and have to be cared for by my coworkers. I don't want them to see me differently, right? It happened. It started to happen that evening, like on a Tuesday evening. I just didn't feel well, and I told my mom that Wednesday morning. I called my mama in tears, and I was like, I'm just in a lot of pain. I can't take it. I don't even know how to explain it. The pain was terrible. Wouldn't wish that on anyone. So for the mamas out there who struggle with fertility issues, who've had multiple miscarriages, I am letting you know I understand, okay? I couldn't get pregnant by my husband for years. We tried for years. I went to clinics. I had blood work. They ran tests on me. I get it. I understand, okay? Mother's Day is hard when you've experienced that type of loss time and time again. I did eventually pass my unborn child, and it was devastating. I just remember my mom was here with me, and she just sat here, and she was like, just go to sleep. I was like, I can't. And so we literally just sat here and watched cartoons. And my sister called, and my sister told my mom, she said, my mom was like, you can come. But my sister was like, I don't know what to say. And if you have a friend, a family member who has dealt with this type of loss, words aren't necessary all the time. Sometimes just being there is all that some of them need. Like for me, that's it. Like I didn't need anybody to try to tell me how to feel about it, or that it was, I didn't need nobody to preach at me. Literally just be here, distract my thoughts is all I needed. Okay. Fast forward, in December, end of December, my doctors decided after more tests that I would not be able to carry to term because I had very bad fibroids, and they scheduled me for a hysterectomy in February of this year. I had my hysterectomy. It was actually 2 months ago today. Yeah, 2 months ago, yesterday, that I had my hysterectomy. And while I know what a hysterectomy is, I'm no idiot. I knew why I was having the hysterectomy. However, it was 3 weeks post-op when that sucker hit me like a ton of bricks that I would never have a child of my own, which then triggered a different type of response in me to where I didn't want children around me. And if you know me, you know I love kids, other people's kids, for short amounts of time. So I've been working through that with my therapist, and just trying to figure out, what the next steps are in healing from that. So I had a miscarriage from a pregnancy that came out of nowhere, and then having a hysterectomy, and they were they feel far apart, but they were on paper they look far apart too, but in feeling it felt like they were like 3 weeks apart. Like, honestly, it was like, oh, you miscarried, give me that. That's how it felt to me. So just trying to maneuver through all of that, maneuver through day to day, still trying to be who God has called me to be, has been a little overwhelming. I know for a fact I've been very standoffish with certain people, and that's because they have small children. And it's not because I don't love their small children. It's just because I, right now, can't deal. I haven't seen my nieces since my surgery. Like, I've seen them, but they haven't been over to like stay and spend time and us go to the park and do all of the auntie things that I would want to do now that the weather has broken. So yes, that's that. And then with Mother's Day approaching, I think I would have been okay if they hadn't have given me a due date. I was supposed to be a mother this month. Next month, I was supposed to celebrate my first Mother's Day. And I know I'm weird, but I felt in my gut with my first miscarriage that it was a little girl. And I had named her. And her name was Dolce Rael. Why? I don't know. Little Bean, from the moment I saw the ultrasound, from the moment I found out I was pregnant, I don't know if it's because I wanted it so bad that I felt these things, but Bean was a boy. Little Bean was a boy, and his name was Levi Sante. That was his name, and Bean was gonna be his nickname. I can't explain these things to y'all. That's just how this thing up here works. So, Mother's Day is approaching. Be kind. Keep your mouth shut. Don't ask people why they don't have kids. Don't do it. Maybe they don't want children. They don't have to explain that to you. Maybe they can't have children. They don't have to explain that to you. Maybe they're trying and they've had loss after loss after loss after loss, and you have no idea the mental and emotional and physical toll that takes on a woman. Keep your mouth shut. If they want to tell you, they will tell you, okay? Let women be. Leave us alone. To the people who have loved me back to life, who don't even realize they love me back to life a little bit every day, I appreciate you. I just think it is time for people to stop asking other people why they don't have children. I work in healthcare. I am a CNA. I've been a CNA for 11 years now on paper, but I've been taking care of people my entire life. The amount of patients who ask me on a regular basis if I have children, because like I'll laugh and I'll joke with my patients. I'm very concerned about a lot of my patients. They'd be like, I know your kids love you. How many kids do you have? I'm sorry, I don't have children. I have nieces. Well, why? Mostly older people with no filter will ask me why. Or I'm so sorry. It'll happen when it's time. I'm not about to tell these people I'll never have kids at all. It's not their business. And I just say, yeah, you're right. And I walk out. At first, I would walk out with like tears forming in my eyes, but I've gotten a little bit better. Also, I can now look at children, small children, and not feel like I need to run from them. That was proven to me 2 weeks ago. We were at church, and my cousin's baby was sleepy. The parents were busy doing church work, you know. We had something going on at the church, and they both needed to be doing the things. I took the baby. I put her to sleep. Like I put multiple children to sleep. And didn't bat an eye. And I didn't feel like I wanted to lunge that baby or go up there to the front of the stage while she was singing and say, take this kid. I can't do this. She didn't force me. Her and her husband, they did not ask me to take their baby. They didn't say, here, take this baby, put her to sleep. They didn't force it on me. I willingly took the baby. I willingly rocked her to sleep, and I willingly toted her around that church until I gave her to someone else. Okay? I still love children. I'm just struggling a bit from time to time with loving on smaller children right now. I love my nieces, but I guarantee you, we had a cookout the other Saturday. I did not spend that much time with my nieces. Not the littles. My oldest niece, yeah, we played around, we laughed, we took pictures together. I have pictures of the littles, but I didn't like play with my two littles because I'm not ready. And nobody in my family knows this. Maybe they'll actually watch the video. I don't know. But I pray every day for strength to be able to be that aunt in person, not just over FaceTime. I want to get back to where I can love on them without feeling like I was cheated. I don't want to look at women with children and be like it's not fair. I'm still working on not being pissed off with God, because I'm not even gonna hold you. Once I had that miscarriage, I was pissed, because like, why did you allow this to happen? Maybe he allowed it to happen so that, you know, I could tell somebody without somebody feeling like they're being preached to. Because I'm not finna preach at you. I'm just gonna tell you things happen for a reason. And sometimes I may never know why. I may never know why. I might find out why in 3 to 6 months, 7 to 10 business days. I don't know. I don't know why. But what I do know is once I was able to just be like, these things have happened to me. I've taken on a lot. I've taken a lot of hits in life. This is another one of them. I just have to release this thing and allow God to heal those parts of my heart that are now broken again. I have to still love on people the way I've always loved on people, and not let the things that have happened to me dictate how I move and how I operate as a person in a negative way. Because there's no way I could just be like, Noodle, I don't never want to talk to you again. Like, who would do that? Who does that? Like, I couldn't tell my nieces, don't talk to me ever again. No, we're just gonna keep working through the healing process, and one day at a time, one moment at a time. You are not alone, okay? We're not alone. Allow people to love you back to life. It's hard, I know. It's very hard. But it's possible, okay? I have yapped long enough. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comment section. You can send them to my private inbox if you don't want people in your business, because apparently I don't care nothing about people being in my business, right? Right. But y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm going to take a little nappy nap. All right. And if nobody told you in a long time, I love you. For real, for real. Bye.